congratulations to Rivers State Governor-elect Siminalayi Fubara on his victory at the recently conducted polls. But a few thoughts on the Governor-elect's words once again.
To me, it's a manifestation of that belief. It's 33/33, 2/2. I thank the Rivers people who have come out in their numbers to say we believe in the present administration.
So I was asking a question, Mr. Governor-elect, but did the people really come out in their numbers? And I was talking about how reports have it that town criers went about announcing, reportedly, allegedly, that if the people would not vote for your party, the People's Democratic Party, they shouldn't come out on election day. That's the news that's making the rounds, by the way. Allegedly, of course, you know. And even on election day also, did Mr. Governor-elect not hear about how people were caned, how party leaders supposedly, or party members supposedly were going about caning people, forcing people, how that party agents were at polling units and tearing people's ballot papers if they did not vote for their preferred political party or candidate? Did Mr. Governor-elect not hear that? Did Mr. Governor-elect not hear about the snatching of ballot boxes all across Rivers State, not just in particular local government areas? And I'm not sure there's a local government area that did not experience that. Snatching of ballot boxes, hoodlums and thugs being accompanied by security agents, shooting sporadically to scare voters away, while ballot papers, ballot boxes, INEC officials were being carted away. Did Mr. Governor-elect not hear about all of this? So just you know, questioning the statement about the people coming out in their numbers. The question once again is, did the people really come out in their numbers? Were they allowed to exercise their franchise?
We want the administration to continue. I will not end by not assuring the Rivers people that the development they are recording by our principals, we will continue with it. We will ensure that though the bar has been raised for us, we will also raise the bar for whoever is going to take over from us.
Once again, Mr. Governor-elect, congratulations if you remain in office for the next 4 years. I do hope that you succeed as governor, very much so, because your success is the success of Rivers State, and by extension or by implication, the success of Rivers people. I hope you do well. If you are in office for the next 4 years, I hope that you govern, truly govern. I hope that you're not overtaken by the title Your Excellency. I hope that you're not, you don't become power drunk. I hope that you don't come to a realization of how much power you wield and how strong you are and how you can control people's lives. And you're not overtaken by thoughts of Mopo and DSS all around you and bulletproof SUVs and the paraphernalia of office. And you suddenly come to a realization that that's what it's about, that it's about you. It's about you. All of these people guarding just you. All of these people bowing to you. All these people seeking your signatures on very important documents, and you are controlling a vast budget, billions of naira, the state's budget, and you realize, oh my goodness, this is me. I am big. I am big. I am God. No, I hope it doesn't come to that. I hope in spite of all of this, because the paraphernalia of office will be there, the DSS will be there, the protective units of the police will be there, all the paraphernalia and the bulletproof SUVs will be there. I haven't been to Government House, but I think it's a nice place. I haven't been to the governor's office, but I think that's nice also. And there are going to be lots of people who want your signatures and you know, they're bowing to you and all that. But I hope, in spite of all of this, you will still understand that it's all about the people. That you're there, you were elected to serve people, to make their lives better, to improve their quality of living, to increase the chances of their attaining their aspirations in life, to protect, to serve, to protect, to serve, to protect, to serve. I hope you remember that. I hope you remember that. And congratulations once again to the Rivers State Governor-elect, Siminalayi Fubara. Let's see. Anything else catch my attention on the news today as I checked it out? Let's see. The conversation will continue. Do please stay with us.
Facts with Dio.
Welcome back. 26 minutes to go before 4 o'clock. It is Hard Fact to Nigeria. Input, hearing Port Harcourt, the number one talk station. I'm Dio. Conversation does continue. Let's see. Am I done with today's side comments? I think I might be done with today's side comments. Let's see. Pardon me, kind of lost my train of thought for a moment there, but Oh, I think we'll just leave off the side comments on that note. All right, so that's the side comments for today. Whatever else should have come up, I think I will hopefully remember that later on. Maybe in the course of the show later on during the open season segment or tomorrow's side comment, I may bring that up again. But we'll move on right now to today's rant. I've got something in my mind of expressing some thoughts in it, and you're very welcome to express your thoughts in mine all the way till 4 p.m. Yeah, so some news item caught my attention earlier on today, and it concerns the civil service. Now, the civil service is it's very critical. It's a very critical, very important component of any country, and that includes the Nigerian state for that matter. And for the purpose of today's rant, I'll be referencing a book that I'm very proud to own, by the way. I'll get to the story that inspired today's rant shortly, but I'd like to beforehand state that to buttress the point that I intend to make on today's rant, or to buttress the reminder of today's rant, I'll be referencing a book. Once again, I'm very proud to own the book. And said book, by the way, if you're watching live now on Facebook or Twitter or on YouTube, I'm holding the book in my hand. It's titled A Handbook on Discipline of Civil Servants in Nigeria. Once again, it's titled A Handbook on Discipline of Civil Servants in Nigeria, written by the very brilliant and erudite Rufus N. Godwins. I'm sure that name rings a bell. Rufus N. Godwins, by the way, is the head of service here in Rivers State. He's a legal practitioner, notary public, administrator, and the head of the civil service of Rivers State, having formerly been the director of public prosecutions, permanent secretary, and solicitor general of Rivers State. And I'm also very proud to state, by the way, that I got this copy given to me personally by him, and it's autographed, by the way. Yeah, I should state that, and I can read it. It says, with my best compliments as the author to Dio, my great friend, signed Rufus N. Gordon Esquire, 23/3/2020. So I got a signed copy of this, and holding it up. If you can see this right now, holding it up. That's my personal copy. So before I'll get back to the book in a bit, but here's the story from our bulletin earlier today that inspired today's rant. Members of SIM 4G support group, accountants in Rivers State Civil Service, are congratulating the Rivers State Governor-elect Siminalayi Fubara on his victory at the March 18 governorship election in Rivers State. Now, speaking for the group, a representative described the electoral victory of the governor-elect as an ordinance from God and an evidence of the voice of the people of Rivers State, who, he said, spoke with votes from the 23 local government areas of the state. Describing the governor-elect as an accomplished accountant and administrator who rose through the ranks in the Rivers State Civil Service, the group said it is pleased that Mr. Fubara made history as the first civil servant in Rivers State to be elected as a governor, as well as the first governor-elect in Rivers State of Okpobo Ibani descent. The group further stated that the emergence of Mr. Fubara as governor means so much to accountants in the state, as it is a prayer answered to consolidate on the performance of Governor Wike. The group commended the governor for the honor. All right, it sounds nice, and it is nice, by the way. And congratulations to the governor-elect once again, and congratulations to his predecessor. Oh, pardon me, not yet his predecessor. Congratulations to his would-be predecessor, the current governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike. I'm sure he's delighted with the victory as well, understandably so. And ordinarily, if accountants under any other guise, under any other ages, under any other grouping, under any other organization or association or familiarization, whatever it is, were to congratulate the governor-elect in this manner, it will be fine. There will be absolutely nothing wrong with it, I suppose. There will be no questions asked. However, the question mark with this is they identify as members of SIM 4G support group, accountants. If it had ended there, we probably won't be having this conversation. And then it goes on, accountants in Rivers State Civil Service. Aha. Therein lies the question mark. Accountants in Rivers State Civil Service. Now, today's rant, as I've always mentioned, every rant rather, is simply a reminder of something we're familiar with already. But sometimes we need reminding. Even I do, So today's rant is a reminder to civil servants in Rivers State of the ethical attributes of civil servants. A reminder to civil servants in Rivers State of the ethical attributes of civil servants. Now, to the book that I said I'll be referencing today, for today's rant, a handbook on discipline of civil servants in Nigeria, written by the head of service here in Rivers State, Rufus N. Gordon. I'd like to go first to the executive forward, the forward, by the way, of the book, which interestingly was written by the governor of Rivers State, the current governor of Rivers State, His Excellency Nyesom Wike. The second paragraph, or maybe I'll start from the first paragraph, and it goes, as the bedrock of the government, the civil service is responsible for the implementation and execution of government policies, programs, and projects meant to advance the well-being of the people. This being so, the performance or lack of it of any government depends to a large extent on the competence, efficiency, and effectiveness of civil servants. That's how crucial they are. Paragraph 2. As government employees, civil servants are held to basic standards of conduct, which are set out and or defined under the civil service rules, which cover a wide range of behavioral do's and don'ts, both within or outside the official actions, including their private lives. And because of their essence, disciplinary consequences are attached to the infraction of these basic rules of conduct to guarantee the integrity. Those days of the civil service which were disciplined, loyalty, and commitment to effective and efficient service delivery were the hallmarks have passed. Regrettably, it is becoming increasingly difficult to trust civil servants for effective performance of their responsibilities due to the twin negatives of indiscipline and corruption, which have clearly eroded loyalty, effectiveness, and productivity. The question is, who is the civil service designed to serve? What is the civil service designed to do precisely? So the governor of Rivers State, in his foreword in this book, identifies the role, the importance, the crucialness of the civil service. However, in subsequent paragraphs, he also goes ahead to talk about how standards are generally perceived to have fallen, how the civil service is characterized by indiscipline these days, a lack of commitment, gross ineffectiveness and inefficiency has eroded the trust and confidence of the citizenry, the populace, and as far as the civil service in Nigeria is concerned. And I believe this covers especially Rivers State, well, maybe not especially, but definitely it covers Rivers State as well. And this is in the executive foreword, by the way, to this book. Now let's go to another critical part of the book, and that is just a moment while I get to the table of contents. Table of contents. I think that's let's see. Chapter 2, appointment and career of civil servants. Chapter 2, sub 2. That's ethical attributes of civil servants, and that's on page 55. If you have a copy of this book with you, turn with me to page 55. Chapter 2, ethical attributes of civil servants. 2.1 goes: the civil service at the federal or state level constitutes the largest workforce of any single sector in the economy of the nation, and therefore understandably parades a rich assemblage of professional and technical staff in virtually every field of specialization. These employees are broadly categorized into different cadre with appropriate schemes of service according to their disciplines. 2.2. As the drivers of the machinery of government activities and policies, they are required to possess certain essential attributes as the basic etiquette for the effective discharge of their duties. Some of these vital attributes, and as noted by Professor Nwabueze, are highlighted below. Now, 2.2a. Impartiality. The public interest demands political impartiality in the civil service. The public interest demands political impartiality in the civil service. For emphasis sake, I'll read that a third time. The public interest demands political impartiality in the civil service. It is important that the expert advice and policy provided by the civil service and its executive service should be impartial regardless of the political complexion and outlook of the party in power. When accountants in Rivers State Civil Service form themselves into members of SIM4G support group, that very much seems like it goes against the ethics of impartiality, because the public interest demands political impartiality in the civil service. So these accountants in Rivers State Civil Service were members of SIM4G support group. So what happens? I mean, it was an election. It could have gone anyway. What happens if somebody else and not the person SIM4G support group were supporting? What happens if any of the other candidates had won the election? Would the accountants in Rivers State Civil Service who are members of SIM4G support group not offer their professional and expertise, their skills to further that government if another person had won? Impartiality. 2.2b, fairness. The civil service serves not only the government of the day, but also the public at large in the capacity of administration of the law. Civil servants, as the key operators of the system, must in all their actions demonstrate fairness and candor. When members of SIM4G support group accountants in Rivers State Civil Service are congratulating the governor-elect and saying that his victory is an ordinance from God and an evidence of the voice. So if somebody else had won, the accountants in Rivers State Civil Service would have been convinced that God did not support that victory. And if God did not support the victory, what would the accountants in Rivers State Civil Service have done? Since God did not support somebody else's victory, assuming somebody else had won the election. And once again, it's an election, it could have gone anyway. What would the accountant in the Rivers State Civil Service have done? Now, let's move on to another chapter very quickly in the book, and that is Chapter 3, Code of Discipline in the Civil Service. That's Code of Discipline in the Civil Service. Let's go to 3.2. That's on page 107. Pardon me, I'm almost done with this. Page 107. 107. Yes. So, Chapter 3, Code of Discipline in the Civil Service, Constitutional Code of Conduct for Public Officers, that's 2.2, or 2 rather. So, 2. Let's see, where is that? Here we are. 2.1. The Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, 1999, as amended, establishes a code of conduct for public officers in the public service of the Federation or of the state. By this provision, all public officers are defined under the code are required to observe and conform to the code of conduct. 2.2. By the constitutional provisions with respect to the code of conduct for public officers, which are in pari materia with the stipulations in the Code of Conduct Bureau and Tribunal Act, a public officer, as contemplated under the Code of Conduct, is defined as a person holding any of the offices specified in Part 2 of the 5th Schedule, and it goes on to list. These offices, and 2.4.1, 2.4 rather. In some, the constitutional restrictions and prohibitions against public officers include 2.4.1, prohibition of conflict of interest. A public officer shall not put himself in a position where his personal interest conflicts with his duties and responsibilities. Now, accountants in the Rivers State Civil Service forming themselves under a support group for any political party or any candidate does not sound like they're not putting, very much sounds like they put themselves in a position where personal interests conflict with duties and responsibilities. Because once again, the loyalty of the civil service, whether at federal level or state level, is not to a political party, is not to the party in power, is not to a candidate, it's to government, it's to the public. And if you personally support someone, which is fine, by the way, civil servants are human beings, they are Nigerians, they have a right to support a person. As an individual, civil servants can vote, they can register to be voters, and they can vote as well. As an individual, fine, go and exercise the franchise. However, when you identify as accountants in Rivers State Civil Service, you should not put yourself, especially publicly, in a position where your personal interests conflict with your duties and your responsibilities. Because once again, if somebody else has won the election, what will be the position of accountants in Rivers State Civil Service? And it goes on to list several things they should not do: prohibition of foreign accounts, prohibition of gifts or benefits in kind, and blah, 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 and it goes on. So it's very simple. Once again, I very much recommend, if you can get your hands on the book, a handbook on discipline of civil servants in Nigeria, written by Rufus N. Godwins, currently head of service here in Rivers State. And I strongly recommend that civil servants in Rivers State, especially accountants in Rivers State Civil Service, should get a copy of this. I'm sure the head of service will oblige them, tell them where they can buy it, and digest the content. It's very important that they do so. And I very much hope that today's rant has served its purpose of reminding civil servants, especially civil servants in Rivers State, especially, or more especially, accountants in Rivers State Civil Service, of the ethical attributes of civil. A handbook on discipline of civil servants in Nigeria by Ruth and Godwin. That's the rant for today. Let's get you on mind. Lines are called 070-0923-0923. By the way, congratulations to the governor-elect once again, Simvara. Call 070-0923-0923 live on Facebook, Nigeria Info Picture live on Twitter, at 9info. Please keep it brief and straight to the point. And once your call is answered, do please turn off the volume of your radio set so we can have a conversation. If that number is not active, okay, let's give it a shot. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome. Please go on.
Yeah, Dario, good evening.
Hi, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Jerry. Please, I want to just make an inquiry. Please, where can we get the book written by the head of the civil service?
Wow.
Can we get it on PDF or where?
Well, I can't answer that. I don't know where you can get it. Well, maybe you have to know the head of service personally, like I do, you know. So, but I'm sure if you ask around, or maybe we'll get him to come talk about it sometime, so you can know where to get it. But I don't know really.
Yeah.
You're welcome. 913, welcome. Hello. Hello. Hard Party, welcome. Go ahead. Hello. All right, if you happen to have time reaching me on 0700 number, do call 0817 923 0002. 0817 923 0003 or 0817 923 0007. Hello.
Hello, good evening.
You're welcome. Go on.
Hi.
Hi, go ahead.
You are ranting this evening. I think it's very, very accurate. My name is Stephen from Port Harcourt. And this, hello, can you hear me?
Loud and clear. Go ahead, please.
And this advice is very apt in the sense that the government is just about to commence in a few months' time. And would I call it busybody? Or what is the best name that suits this kind of civil servants that will forget themselves that they are there to serve the public? And after this time now, if you are not from this party, the implication is if you are not from this party and you are going to any of the offices for something, you may not even be given that chance because they sink themselves into this kind of organizations, groups, just to satisfy one man's interest. So I think you need to replay this particular message more often so that we know the civil servants know themselves on what they are supposed to do and know their limits. I don't know what is becoming of us. It is not the whole society that must be politicians. You've just applied to secure a job and you've given the job and you are leaving the ethics of the job because of politics.
Great to hear from you, sir. But I really must move on right now, sir. Really, thank you for your contribution once again. Hello, Hard Factor, welcome. Please go on. Hello? Hello? Oh, I've got some messages over here. Let's take a couple of those. The man that wrote that book is going against exactly... really? Okay, I'll come back to that shortly. These civil servants don't care about what he just said. They know that no action will be taken against them. After all, their candidates won the election. This country is a big joke. That's from Sammy. Good afternoon, Dan. To me, if it was another candidate that won, it wouldn't have been God's will. And what they would have done would be to go to court because that's the latest language of our politicians, and that's from Prince Umar. Hi, Dan. Do those state accountants really go through this book you read? Do they know the ethics, conduct, rules and regulations or civil service commission? Now you have... now you have shown they have a bias. They should all be sacked or expelled, and that's Ayo Mike. Well, I'm sure the civil service has its rules and regulations. Hello? Hello, how far to welcome? Please go on.
Dial, thank you for this round today. It's an eye opener. That is a testimony that show what a particular individual or a party has done to Rivers State past 8 years. They have molded this state in something we do not understand anymore. For the past 8 years. I thank you for that run. Very insightful. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Good afternoon. In fact, a little encounter with some civil servants in Rivers State has revealed that most of them are not dedicated to the work they are employed to do. Commissioners and PEMSECs, when it falls to them, they will not effect the work even after demanding outrageous gratification. That's from Eric Chooks. In my ward, a civil servant with the local government was the ward party chairman, and the one that succeeded him is also a civil servant with the state government. Like our politicians, like our civil servants. Oh well, we do have to wrap this up in a moment, and congratulations to all the winners in the elections once again, including the governor-elect. However, there are rules, there are regulations, And the civil service, especially, is one that's got lots of rules. And if we're going to go back to those glory days, as the governor himself, the Rivers State governor, Nyesom put in his executive forward in the book, the glory days, if we are to return the civil service at the federal level or the state level to the glory days, there has to be strict adherence to the rules. And civil servants in Nigeria must do that. Civil servants in Rivers State must do that. Accountants in Rivers State civil service must do that. Can't forget. You can support who you want personally, but as a civil servant, as a civil service, you can't be seen to be doing that because you serve any government in power. Well, that's a wrap. We got business news at 4 p.m. Canvas in Niger Delta Roundtable comes after that. Do please stay with us.